This was a little hamster, small and adorable. Every day his owner spoiled him with tasty treats. Baca wasn't just any hamster, he lived inside an office. Each morning, after climbing out of his 10-centimeter bed, the very first thing he did was run to the window to greet his best friend. Well, calling it a best friend wasn't quite right. They had never actually met. Baca simply stared at the rubber duck floating in the water basin outside. He believed, with all his tiny heart, that they were friends. He dreamed of being like the ladybug that sometimes landed by the window, slipping through the gap to fly free. If he could become like that, he could reach the duck. But the hole was too small, and even if he squeezed through, he couldn't fly. Thinking of that made him feel a little less sad. Then one day, he saw a cat glaring at his duck friend. Baca panicked, helpless, but just as the cat was about to pounce, a girl walked by and scared it away. That girl was Kanako, Baca's favorite creature in the whole world. Kanako came to the office first thing every morning. She fed Baca, and Baca would always wait by the door to greet her, looking for a chance to sneak out to see his friend. But Kanako always stopped him, warning that the outside world was dangerous. At that time of day, the office would soon fill with people. Baca loved them too. They would gently stroke him and take short breaks to play. But soon enough, everyone returned to their desks, working hard for the woman Baca thought of as their leader. Coco, to Baca, Coco was the boss. After all, everyone came to this little room every day, using their magical tools to do her bidding. Naturally, Baca decided she must be some kind of powerful sorceress, descended from a comet, granting wishes and protecting the weak. But where there's light, there's shadow. Alongside her was Kichi, a dark sorcerer who used magic to stir lifeless objects into chaos, undoing the good Coco had done. Baca hated him. Every time he met Kichi's cold stare, fear ran through him. Evenings were the hardest. When the office emptied, the silence was unbearable. Only Coco and Kichi remained. Baca would scurry back to the window to look at his duck friend, imagining the lonely toy floating in the basin, enduring a solitude worse than his own. Compared to the duck, Baca felt lucky. Eventually, he climbed back into his little bed, hoping sleep would chase the fear away. That night, in his dreams, Baca finally made it outside. He rushed to his duck, who told him they had always been friends, even long ago. But when he woke with a start, racing to the window, his dream had turned to nightmare. The cat had snatched the duck in its jaws. Terrified, Baca fainted. Coco seemed to sense his need. She soared in on a broom, cradling the tiny hamster and checking on him. Baca awoke, remembering his friend, and when he looked back, the duck was still caught in the cat's mouth. He fainted again. Coco caught him before he fell. Wanting to help, Coco cast a spell on him. Baca didn't understand what was happening. He only knew his friend was in danger, and he was powerless. Coco nudged him toward a small hole by the window. It reminded Baca of the ladybug he'd seen that morning. Light flashed around him, and suddenly, Baca was no longer a hamster. Coco's magic had transformed him into a ladybug, and now, he could become anything.